To travel between two cities, we first need a road and then a vehicle to travel on that road from one city to another. Similarly, in Java, to execute queries on a database, we first need a database connection. Once the connection is established, we can use a prepared statement object to send SQL queries to the database and receive the results from it. In this video, we will see how to use prepared statement to execute database queries. For this demonstration, I'm going to use Eclipse IDE and MySQL Database. I'll leave the project link in the description of the video. I am in Eclipse IDE now. Create a Java project and name it as Prepared Statement Project. In the src folder, take a package com.db. In the com.db, take a class and name it as Prepared Statement Demo. Inside the class, take a main method, and in the main method, write the variables URL, username and password to establish database connection. In the URL, JDBC schema is the database that I'm going to use from MySQL, and JDBC user is my username and JDBC123 is my password. In these values, you have to replace your own values or else the program will throw an exception. After writing the URLs, now we need to load the MySQL driver. Class.forName will throw an exception. Surround it with try-catch blocks. Now establish the connection. We have getConnection method of driver manager class to establish the connection. To the getConnection method, we have to pass URL, username and password. This getConnection method will throw an SQL exception. So just click on add exception to the existing catch clause. So here the driver manager will read the URL and it will come to understand that it has to use the MySQL driver, and it will use the MySQL driver, and the driver use the username and password from driver manager, and it will interact with the database and check the username and password. If username and password is correct, then the driver manager will return a connection object. After getting the connection, now we need a prepared statement to create a table in the database, because our first aim is to create a table in the database. Let me write the query to create a table in the database. Here I have written the query to create users table with values ID, name and age. Now our query is ready. We need a prepared statement to run this query in MySQL database. Write prepared statement here. So we will get the instance for prepared statement from connection variable. In connection variable, we have a method called PreparedStatement. To this prepare statement, we have to pass our SQL query. Now our prepared statement is ready with the table creation query. To execute this query, we have to use execute update method from prepared statement. So just call execute update method by using the variable name. This method will create a table in the database. So after this method, I will just print table is created. If there is any error in the table creation, then execution will stop in this line and the exception will be thrown to catch block, and table is created message will not be printed. So if table is created message is printing, which means the table is already created in the MySQL database. After creating the table, our next aim is to insert records into the table. Let me write a query to insert records into the database table. Our query is ready to insert values into database. Now we need a prepared statement to execute this query. Let me create prepared statement. Now we have to use prepared statement of the connection variable to create this prepared statement. Con.prepare statement and pass the insert query to it. Import the prepared statement. It's prepared statement. Now our prepared statement is ready with the insert query, but we have to pass the values to the question marks that are there. So this is how we execute the prepared statement. So statement is a bit different. We have to set the values first and then we have to execute the query. How do we set the values to this query? We will set the values to this query by using the prepared statement variable. So just access prepared statement variable and we use setter methods. Set int. To this set int method we have to pass two values. First one is parameter index value and then the actual value. So our first parameter index is 1. Here the indexing will start from 1, not from 0. And the actual value, here we have to pass the ID because our first value is ID. So here I will pass the value 1. After that we have to set value for name. Name is of string data type, so we have to use string setter method. Set string. This time the name is at second column, so we have to use number 2, that is the parameter index, and the value is I will pass Smith. Now we have to set the third value, that is int, that is age. Age is of integer type, so here pass value 3 because age is third column, and value is I will pass 21 is the age. Now these values will go and replace with the question marks. Now we have to execute this query in the database. To execute this query in the database we have to use execute update method. pst2.execute update. Let me insert one more row into the database. To insert one more row, we just have to follow the same procedure. Just write ps2.setInt. Here the column index is 1 and this time the ID value is 2. And set the name now. Name is second column and here the name I will pass head. Now set the age. It is at third column and the age is 32, and use execute update method to execute the query. After this I will print a message, records are inserted. After inserting the record, our next task is to get the records from database and print in the Java program. To get the data, first we have to select the data. Let me write a select query for it. Now we need a prepared statement to run this query. To get object for prepare statement, we have to use prepare statement method from connection variable. It is our first suggestion. Just click on it and pass the select query to it. Now prepare statement is ready with the select query. We just have to use execute query method. This time we have to use execute query method, because for the select queries we have to use execute query method. For non-select queries we have to use execute update method. This execute query method will return a result set. Store that in rs variable. Import result set. This result set holds the MySQL table data as it is, so we can use rs variable to get all values from a table. Now to get those values we have to use while loop. While rs.next. The rs.next method will move the cursor to the first row. If there is first row available, the rs.next method will return true and the control will go inside the while loop. Here we will print the first row values. To print the values, we have to use rs variable and we have to use getter methods. The first value is id. id is of integer type. Use getInt method. Here we can either pass the column index number 1 or the actual column name id. I prefer to pass the column name because it is easy to understand, readable. Just pass id. After that, print space. After this, we have to get the name because that is the second column. Name is of string type, so we have to use rs.getString. Get string of name. I will just pass name. After getting the name, I will print space and then I will get the age value. Here write rs.getInt and here pass age. There is one more extra brace, take it off, and that's it. So here it will print the first row values and the control will go back to while loop again. Now the rs.next method will move the cursor to the second row. If second row is available, the second row values will be printed and the cursor will go back again. Now the cursor will move to third row. As there is no third row available, the rs.next method will return false and while loop will not run. The program terminates. So before we run the program, we have to add MySQL jar file, then only the MySQL driver will be loaded. Go to build path, click on class path, click on add external jars, choose MySQL connector jar, and now run the program. So here we are getting all the messages. Table is created, records are inserted, 1 Smith 21, 2 head 32. Let me show you in the MySQL workbench. This is the JDBC schema, my database, and here I don't have any tables at the moment. If I refresh, users table come here, and let me show you the data in the table. So this is the data in the table. Now, this is how we use prepared statement, and that's it for today. If you have any doubts, comment them in the comment box. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.